Coming up next, the company that owns SDG&E reports a huge profit while your bills have been skyrocketing.
We had hit or miss showers earlier today, but get ready for rain and mountain snow. Let's time it out coming up.
Schools, restaurants, even beaches shut down. We'll take a look back at the effect COVID has had on our county.
Plus, as American Heart Month wraps up, a look at the effect stress and anxiety can have on your heart. It's more than you may think.
Bedbugs are on the rise in hotels across the country. How to protect yourself the next time you travel.
And meet the Oceanside veteran who jumped out of a plane to celebrate his 90th birthday.
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
Huge earnings reported today by SDG&E's parent company, Sempra Energy. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. Sempra Energy says it earned $2.9 billion in profit last year. The news comes as many SDG&E customers struggle to pay their utility bills. CBS 8's David Gottfredson breaks down the numbers, including some good news for ratepayers about future natural gas bills.
It's very good times for Sempra, and that results from the profitability that SDG&E pushes up.
2022 was a good year for SDG&E as well as its parent company, Sempra Energy, which reported $2.9 billion in adjusted gross revenues. Much of the income came from SDG&E, which had $915 million in gross earnings for 2022. But last year was not so great for SDG&E customers, according to Edward Lopez, the director of UCAN, the Utility Consumers Action Network.
SDG&E customers just don't know how to deal with these skyrocketing bills. In a number of cases, the increase was absolutely hundreds of dollars from the prior month.
In January, customers saw their natural gas bills double, which SDG&E blamed on everything from cold weather to low capacity of pipelines and gas storage facilities. But there is good news on that front. SDG&E just put out a news release saying the average bill should be $140 lower in March when compared to January. That said, SDG&E has already applied to raise its gas rates next year.
With its application, SDG&E already signaled that it's asking for nearly 18% increase over 2023.
During Sempra's earnings report webcast, the CEO, Jeffrey Martin, who earned $24 million in 2021 in total compensation, told investors he wants to, paraphrasing here, build, baby, build.
There is a common opportunity set in front of each of our business platforms focused on investments in modern energy infrastructure that accelerate electrification and the transition to cleaner fuels.
Translation, Sempra plans to spend a lot of ratepayer money on capital projects where the company makes a guaranteed 9.9% rate of return. That percentage rate is actually down from last year thanks to utility advocates like UCAN.
These investor-owned utilities certainly are receiving profitability from the utility because of the capital investment they're making.
David Gottfredson reporting. Now, you might wonder why SDG&E can't just make less money and pass the savings on to customers. SDG&E and Sempra are for-profit companies. There are publicly owned utilities in California that are nonprofit. There's a group called Public Power San Diego that is advocating for that solution here. SDG&E does tell us that they pay what they have to pay for natural gas, that the market has risen this past year, and that's out of the utility's control. Do we know that's true? Well, California law says they're supposed to, but the federal government is now looking into possible market manipulation by natural gas companies. So they're going to be looking to that and hopefully get us more answers.
A squatter at a North County apartment complex has been served an eviction notice, and the property manager believes it's because of our coverage of the problems there. 2 weeks ago, we brought you the story from Cross Creek Apartments in Escondido. The manager told us she filed an eviction case last year, but was getting nowhere until she called CBS 8. She says the man living there had been taking care of his parents in the apartment, but after they died, he stopped paying rent. She also says his guests were bringing knives and drugs into the complex and vandalizing property. CBS 8 got to work on this story story, we contacted the Sheriff's Department and shared the property manager's concerns. And just yesterday, she told us an eviction notice was finally served and the unit has been vacated. Here at CBS 8, we do want to help solve your problems that affect you and your community. If there's an issue you'd like us to look into, email us. The number there, the email address on your screen, workingforyou@cbs8.com.
Okay, this isn't a DVR newscast. This is really happening again. Another winter storm is heading our way.
Chief Meteorologist Carly Chavis is here early again with a first look at your microclimate forecast. Carlene, it's the same script over and over and over.
It's funny that you say that because I seriously was triggered for 2 seconds hearing that opening.
It is Groundhog Day. You're living it. Your worst holiday, but it's happening.
Serious? I know. Groundhogs. All right, but yeah, we are talking about yet another winter storm. So taking a look at the last 5 hours, just some scattered clouds out there as well as a few scattered showers. But yeah, we are in store for yet another storm system. So we're starting to see the scattered showers as well as some heavier pockets of rainfall and some snow across the Sierra, and that's going to continue as we go into tonight. So that area of low pressure is going to make its dive towards the south, as a result bringing in some heavy rain. So we're going to start off around 10 p.m. You're looking at a heavy pocket of rainfall, and that is for Fallbrook. Starting to see it become more widespread across the county as snow level coming down and some snow across the mountains. Heavy by tomorrow morning. That's during the morning drive. That will keep going. You're seeing that from about 6:25 all the way into about 8:45. Now 8:45 it does let up a little bit, but you're seeing more of that snow coming down across our mountains, and then we're going to clear out by tomorrow night. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the wind speeds also picking up, coming up in your complete forecast. Carlo?
Thanks, Carlene. And to keep up with the latest forecast and weather alerts while you're on the go, download the CBS 8 app from Google Play or the App Store. San Diego police and Crime Stoppers need your help to solve a murder in Lincoln Park back in 2019. This week marks 4 years since 22-year-old Gregory Ruffin Jr. was found lying on a sidewalk on 47th Street with injuries to his upper body. First responders weren't able to save him, and he died at the scene. Anyone with information should call San Diego Police or Crime Stoppers. The number is 888-580-8477.
San Diego County's COVID-19 emergency is officially over. It ended today, along with California's state of emergency.
The proclamations gave state and local leaders the legal authority to make, amend, and rescind regulations. They could also redirect funds. The emergency declaration had been in place for nearly 3 years, and tonight, CBS 8's Steve Price takes a look back at the pandemic's impact on our county.
San Diego's very first COVID case was an American evacuated from China who was under federal quarantine here at MCAS Miramar. That was February 12, 2020. Just 2 days after that, the county declared a local health emergency. And not long after that, things quickly went from bad to worse. Local public health leaders knew it was only a matter of time. And on March 9th, 2020,
this San Diego County resident is hospitalized and doing well.
It officially happened. COVID confirmed in our community. And in those next few days, panic spread even faster than the virus.
There's a line just to get in, which I've never seen that happen before. There's no bread, nothing. Everybody's going insane.
Toilet paper sold out, along with hand sanitizer and food. Store shelves empty.
The panic is real, definitely.
San Diegans walking around with masks to try to slow the spread, but it didn't work. On March 19th, a stay-at-home order was issued, shutting down almost everything not considered essential.
The beaches, boardwalks, and parks are closed. This includes the water.
Schools closed too. Kids suddenly trying to figure out how to learn online, and it wasn't going well.
You've got a generation of children that are just being scarred by this experience.
Frustrated, parents and students took to the streets demanding schools reopen.
Multiple times my kids have been upset, depressed.
In May 2020, some restrictions were lifted, but a video posted to social media showed a bar in PB packed, and county leaders were furious.
We simply cannot tolerate such blatant and intentional violations of the public health order.
In June, San Diego County passed 10,000 cases, and in July, with numbers spiking, bars, indoor dining, and many small businesses were forced to shut down again.
Shutting us down all over again. How am I going to keep my salon, my dream business, you know.
It was a rough summer, but in September, schools were allowed to reopen. Then in November, we hit a tragic milestone, passing 1,000 COVID-related deaths in the county. In December, a nurse became San Diego's first civilian to receive a COVID-19 vaccine, but the rollout was slow and for many, too late. More than 155,000 San Diegans tested positive and 1,500 died in December and January.
It's been hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's been hard for me. It's been hard for my staff. It's been hard for the doctors and the nurses and the pharmacists and everybody in the hospital.
The county then came up with a new plan to get shots out quickly to the community, opening vaccination superstations like this one at Petco Park, capable of vaccinating thousands of people daily. January 2021 also had another first. 2 gorillas at the San Diego Zoo tested positive for coronavirus. It was the first confirmed human to ape transmission.
They're doing okay. They're experiencing some mild symptoms, and we continue to observe them, but they're drinking, they're eating, and they're interacting with one another.
In March, we passed more than 1 million vaccines given, and in June, California's leaders lifted most restrictions. The timing wasn't great. A few weeks later, we got hit hard with the Delta variant, which turned out to be much more contagious than the original strain of the virus. And in December 2021, Omicron arrived. In 2022, we rode a roller coaster of outbreaks, and in 2023, we're still experiencing around 200 to 300 new cases a day. If this continues, our county will hit 1 million confirmed cases sometime this summer. Steve Price, CBS 8.
It's interesting to look back at all that we've endured over the last 3 years. I forgot about MCAS Miramar and how they were quarantined on base there, people that tested positive.
I just remember the Friday when my kids were told, or my youngest was told not to come back to school, and they were going to be out for a while. And as somebody pointed out, Heather pointed out earlier today, we were all told that it was 2 weeks to flatten the curve.
2 to 3 weeks, yes. I remember doing stories on that. My kids were excited for a 2-week break, and then it turned into so much more.
It's just a lot to process watching
mental stress, and but we've emerged. Here we are 3 years later.
Hopefully some lessons learned. Still ahead. Do dental x-rays increase your chance of getting cancer? We verify.
Plus, when Supreme Court justices could decide on a lawsuit against President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan.
And up next, a warning if you're planning to travel, why cases of bed bugs are on the rise.